Yes, it is true. The Black Ace Hockey Podcast is finally back in action. My name is Blaine Abs. I'm right here as always with your co-host Nick Jenkins. What's going on, man?
It's not too much, man. It's been a little while.
Yeah.
We've had to take a couple weeks off because life happens, and we're busy adulting and shit. So back at it again. Excited to talk some hockey and excited for what's to come this weekend. And I know we're going to get into that too.
Yeah, it's been all it's a crazy time of year for hockey. Tournaments are like some of the bigger tournaments are happening. Some of the leagues are wrapping up. So it takes us into different directions as you're a coach and I'm a ref. So it's exciting to get out and view some of the other competition around the United States of America. I know districts and nationals are coming up towards the end of February. So some of those teams are gearing up for that. And high school's kind of on the downswing of things here in Western PA. So hopefully, if you're playing, if you're reffing, if you're coaching, hopefully your seasons are going well. Regardless, it's a great time to be a hockey fan right now if you're following any league. As we'll jump into it because I know we're gonna kind of jump all over the place because I know we got a big weekend coming up. We'll save that towards the end, but uh, some of the first things that I wanted to cover here, and I see on my list that you wanted to talk about Big Daddy Panarin up in the NYC Apple. Now, if anybody, I feel like this man was the first one to cross that ridiculous contract length and contract like amount. He was like the first one to kind of be like, he signed for how much? He signed for 11 mil a year for 17 million years, basically. And that 17 million year is coming this season. So, Jenks, is Panarin happy in NYC?
I don't think he's happy there. I think it's more a story of what's going on with the Rangers right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I haven't checked yet today, but I don't think there's been any significant movement in the standings. But I think the Rangers are last place in the East, and when Panarin signed there, he launched that they were in a rebuild, and he signed there, and he launched them right into contending again, and they've gone out and they've added a couple other pieces and they added JT Miller Daddy. And I think, they certainly didn't plan to be in this position.
Yeah.
And, Panera's not a young buck. I think he's still looking for a chance to win here before he runs out of time. And I think, there was some stuff that came out from the Rangers. I think they both publicly stated, "Hey, we're going into a bit of a retool here,"
Yeah.
and said that they'll be willing to work with Panarin to move him to a contender where he wants to go. So I think it would be a different story if the Rangers were, in a playoff spot, having a good season. Panarin would want to stay, but I think at this point it's just Panarin's looking for a new home, somewhere he could finish his career, somewhere he feels that he's going to win a championship. So
Yeah, I don't, when they came out with that statement, I thought it was a little bit bizarre. It's kind of
mm,
like, hey, we're going to tank. Like, bro, what are you saying right now? Like, you should, like, save that for, like, after the season. Like, don't say that in January 1. Um, like, what do you do with somebody like Adam Fox or Zibanejad or Shesterkin? Is he going to stay? Like, you come out with this statement, and then all these high end players are like, bro, I signed a contract a few years ago for 8 years. Like, what? I don't want to stay for a rebuild to blow away 3 years and potentially get hurt in like the third year, you know? So I feel like New York's going to get a shakeup. Mike Sullivan kind of went to that team and thought, hey, this is going to be an easy show. These guys are nasty. And now he's back in the same boat with the Penguins. I don't know if he knew that going in, like if leadership talked to him and maybe towards the middle part of the season. They were like, hey, um, Laughlin Trash is actually Laughlin Trash. So he's not going to help us this year at all. Um, so, and it makes me curious. What was the talk with JT Miller? You know, he's the captain now, right? Like,
Is he? Does he has the C in New York?
does
I
he?
wasn't sure about that.
I thought he
You might be
does.
right on that. I don't really. Rangers aren't high on my list. It's not some team that I really pay attention to, but you could be right.
I don't know. I
Either
think
way,
he is. He's one of the captains, at least. Um,
yeah.
but like, they have all this carousel at the captain spot. You have Truba. You have who's the one before him? The old guy.
The old guy,
Yeah, the old
the one
guy.
before. I'm
Yeah, the one before Truba.
trying to remember who. Is he still playing or is he retired? So you're first of all, you are correct that Miller is the captain of the Rangers.
Yeah,
If I go back, let me go back like 4 or 5 seasons here. Well, I guess Truba's been around a little bit longer than that. God, I need a new computer.
McDonough.
Um,
McDonough.
yeah, McDonough.
I was gonna say he was like the old guy. Then he went down to Tampa and won a bunch again.
Hmm.
So like you kind
Yep.
of have this carousel where you look at somebody like Crosby or Ovi or um, Kopitar or people of that nature, where you hang on to this guy because, hey, he's going to be your guy for a while. And I just don't
Hmm.
see New York developing that sort of captaincy. Like when you
Hmm.
look at the Devils and you have Heishier, I think Heishier's the captain over there, right?
Yep, you're right.
That young talent, they really, really loved him. He's not the best guy, but I'm sure he's clearly a locker room guy, clearly brings the boys together, clearly has great work ethic. Then you have Jack Hughes, who basically is coming into a captaincy role. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're trying to wait for like Lafren Trash to like finally step up. He had a heck of a season last year, but where's the consistency? Where's that level of like always being?
Do you think while you're mentioning Luff and Trash here, I mean he was the first overall pick how many years ago now? Like 5 or 6 years ago at this point. Um,
And they
do you
compared him to
think?
Crosby. Yeah, get out of here. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
no, that was wild,
Right.
just crazy. Do you think at this point it's worth? Okay, so we just established that the Rangers have publicly announced they're going into a rebuild.
Right.
Okay, do you think it's worth saying maybe it's time we just give Lafreniere a fresh start somewhere else and see what we can get for him? Another young player or some more picks. I mean, if we're fully going into this thing, do we look at some of these pieces and say maybe we'll just try something different?
The thing is, you already came out and said it. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said the your leverage out loud. Like, hey, we are gonna retool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to like send you 2, 3, and then 12 conditional picks that have like 19 million conditions on them or something like that. I just don't know what you're gonna get now for people like him. I think he's kind of like that Taylor Hall status where he's gonna end up bouncing around the league, being that ex first overall pick that might win an MVP in his later years and then fall back off again. And now
Mm-hmm.
he's in what, New Jersey, kind of just mentoring Jack Hughes, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he might be worth a second or third round pick as of right now, but if you're giving him like a first liner, there's no way. There's no way that
Right.
that gets accepted. What
Yeah.
about you?
At
Like,
what point? I'm
what do you
just trying
think?
to figure out. Like, yeah, that's. I'm trying to figure out. Like, at what point do you pull the ripcord and just say he isn't what we thought he is? Let's see if anybody else wants to give him a shot. and let's see what we can get for him.
Yeah,
And just time to move on.
I think everybody's on the table. I would be like,
Yeah,
hey, our whole roster is available.
yeah,
What do people want? And I would just like maybe cherry pick your favorites. You know, Igor might be on the table if they have a solid backup goaltending development. I think JT is definitely on the table because I'm he's not going to want to stay around for another Vancouver. He just got out of there, so I
right.
think he's gonna want to leave. Obviously Panarin's not gonna want to sit around for that long. Zibanejad, what do you do with him? He's been there probably the longest out of anybody right now. Adam
True.
Fox, like we could sit here all day and say none of these guys want to be there, but
Hmm.
it's time to prove yourself. Like, hey, if these guys are gone, me, Alex Lafreniere, let me step up. Let me take a leadership role. Let me lead by like not giving up and not like just being bad all the time. So
Right.
maybe I'm looking at some of these younger guys and being like, hey, we're gonna trade you if you're not gonna lead from the front. So
Yep.
um, I think that's kind of the mentality that some of this leadership needs to have, and it could be coming sooner rather than later as we head towards the trade deadline and in post Olympic talk. So look forward to seeing what New York does and how they handle this fun situation. And we're speaking on old guys, and this guy just doesn't seem to quit. His brother in arms, Johnny Tays, is up in Winnipeg, hometown, trying to get it done. Doesn't seem to be getting it done, but he's having fun. That's all we care about. Patrick Kane, United States, man. If Oshie didn't score that goal, we would have said Kane Soshi. That's what would have happened. He passes Mike Modano for the most US points by a no, most points by a US born player.
Yep.
This guy
Yep.
just doesn't seem to quit, Jenks.
Yeah, he's a machine, and he was so good. I mean, I think people look at him now and they're like, yeah, he's on the back nine of his career, fair, right? But he's still producing in Detroit. He's not the same player he was during his peak with Chicago on those cup runs where
Yeah.
he was consistently scoring 100 points a year. But I mean, still one of the best playmakers in the league, some of the best hands the game's probably ever seen, um, and just consistent. I think, at least for myself, I remember when he had near the end of his Chicago tenure there, when he had that bad hip injury, I think it was, and missed a season, had a major surgery. It was like, is this guy ever going to be able to come back and play
Yeah.
at the same level? And since going to Detroit, he's been pretty good for them. I know he had a stop with the Rangers, and that didn't go as planned, but he's been pretty good for Detroit. And to now be the point number one point guy for all U.S. born players in
Yeah.
history that's really something. So congratulations to him. He's been awful fun to watch. Hopefully, we get a few more years of him here. And yeah,
I think it's crazy to like think about, when we were kind of in his peak prime watching era, that
mm-hmm,
2006 to like 15-ish era.
mm-hmm,
I just think we were watching something that we knew was really good. Like Kane,
mm-hmm,
Tays, Corey Crawford, Seabrook, like that Chicago team is nasty. And now to
yeah,
see these guys actually achieving like some of these records and breaking some of these long-standing titles, I think it's pretty fun because you're like, dude, how many more can these guys go? Because we grew up watching these guys, and I see the younger kids coming in, and I'm like, will Matthews do the same thing? I don't know. Will Marner do the same thing? I don't know. So like, it's interesting to see like what level these guys were on back then
mm-hmm,
to be still competing now. It's kind of like the LeBron effect where like he's been in the league so long, you're like, how is this possible? Why are
mm-hmm.
you still so good? So congrats to him. It's definitely a heck of a thing. I know he has a few kids coming in the pipeline, so look forward to seeing him on the coach's bench in a couple of years. Jumping from old to new, and I've said this for a while. This Celebrini kid, I need him to take a step. First year jitters out the way. I can accept being a rookie and being bad. I can get it. But the second and third year is very important for this development, and Celebrini has taken off like freaking crazy. But Jenks, I pose you a question. I'm looking at this Sharks roster right now, outside of Will Smith, because I think he was hurt on and off this season. Are the Sharks going to waste Celebrini's prime? Because this man single-handedly is willing the Sharks into the playoffs.
Right.
He has double any other point person on the team. And any other point, he has doubled them.
Yeah.
Will the Sharks waste Celebrini's prime just like the Oilers did with McDavid? And I'm not comparing Celebrini to McDavid. McDavid, another level. I'm saying prime.
His prime. Yeah, I mean, I think we got to take a step back here. I hope the answer is no.
Okay.
Something to put it in context is, remember, Celebrini is only 19 years old. Okay, he's not even in his prime yet. He's just breaking out.
Yeah, but if this is like the preview of what's to come,
yeah,
I don't. We're gonna see it.
But here's the thing with the Sharks. Like, I don't think they're in contention for a playoff spot. Okay, as we sit, I got the standings here right here. As we are talking today, they are the second wild card spot in the West.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think anybody in the Sharks organization was both expecting this breakout season from Celebrini, and they certainly weren't expecting to be in a playoff spot at the end of January 2026.
Dmitry Orlov is 7th on the team in points. A stay-at-home D.
Are they going to win? Okay, let's be very clear here. Are they going to win this season? Absolutely not. No chance. It's not happening. Okay.
Right.
But what this season tells them is we've got a guy who is a elite player. We need to start building around him.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of other good young players like Will Smith, like William Eklund. On defense, they've got Mario Ferraro and they've got Sam Dickinson. I mean, they've got Misa in the pipeline too. I mean, they've got a lot of star power in some of these young players. I think if you look at this and say, we're going to take this season as a win, okay, we're not winning this year, fine. We're going to take the season as a win. We now realize that we can contend. We've got to go out and take a stab at some of these big-time free agent signings, and we've got to continue to develop some of these young guys. I mean, they have one thing, at least it appears so. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but
okay,
it looks like they have one thing that Edmonton has never had, and that's a goaltender. Askarov actually looks good. He's only 24 still, and he actually looks good.
Sure.
So, are they winning this year? No chance. Not happening.
Okay.
Are they going to waste Celebrini's prime? Too early to tell. Hopefully they start planning ahead and say, we're not going to be Edmonton 2.0, but yeah, I don't think we're there yet.
So you would say that's an overreaction?
I would call that an overreaction. If somebody's saying that today, I would say that's an overreaction.
Okay. You know, I brought that thought to this convo because, you know, I see a lot of people, and as we move towards the end of the season, there will be comparisons. There will be. That's just how it is. You look at the stats, and it looks freaking awful. So I just think maybe within the next 5 years, if the Sharks don't start making moves, maybe they go out and get Panarin. Maybe they go out and say, hey, JT, we need some veteran leadership on this team that's not Dmitry Orlov. Maybe we need, I mean, they have Toffoli, but I mean, he's not very good. I don't know. That's just
Toffoli is also on the back nine. He was such a good player when he was with LA, and he's moved around a little bit. And he's sort of aging out a little bit, but I don't see this is where you get into the details. Toffoli is not part of a cup winning team for the Sharks.
Yeah.
He will be gone. He will be gone from that team by the time
He's a mentor. Yeah, he's a mentor.
Yes, he's a very good mentor. Yes, I
Yeah.
like that.
So, and that's what I'm thinking. Like you brought up, like they have a ton of young talent, right? Young talent in the pipeline. They're developing people still, but there comes a point where development meets the road. Like, hey, like we can only train you so much until like you just have to start producing.
Agreed.
So I think there's like, I hate to say it, but there's like a 3-year window for me. Like if the Sharks aren't gonna like make money moves, I think it's a full sale. I think we gotta look at some of the development that we have and maybe reach out to teams and be like, hey, we need picks and we need to make a big splash because these young kids just aren't getting it done. So hopefully the Sharks figure it out. I'm optimistic. Celebrini looks like an absolute stud. Will Smith, I mean, even Eklund, he's stepping up this year. I feel like he was a name that was tossed around in the early part of the draft, and now he's producing for him. So, Misa and Penn State, let's just roll into that. We're going to be firsthand viewing how the development of the Sharks prospect is in Beaver Stadium that's still under construction.
Yes, it's going to be under construction for quite some time. Yes.
Okay, under construction, but they are facing off against the Michigan State. Almost a big game right now because Penn State has come away sweeping Wisconsin over the weekend. And I saw a post that Penn State is back into the villain spot. Did you see that little scrum at the end of the game?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
McKenna getting in on the action, flicking people off, pointing up. Like that's what you want to see. You want to see personality out of these guys, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
But yeah, we're going there. What time's the game? Noon?
It's a 1:00 start.
1:00. Okay. So we'll be braving the 1 degree, negative degree weather because we're absolute animals. And then hopefully find our cars after. I don't know how that's going to work yet, but it's going to work somehow.
Well, we're not going to be driving to the stadium, so don't worry about that.
Walking, Ubering, same thing.
It's a non-issue. Yeah, it's I've been so excited for this event since they announced it. We got a huge block of tickets and we're heading in for the game. It's not only the first time they're going to be doing this in Beaver Stadium, but you've got 2 top 5 teams in the country facing off with some of the biggest names, right? So we mentioned a few of them. McKenna, you got Porter Martone on the other side playing for Michigan State, Flyers prospect. So a bunch of other names too. So it's going to be a great hockey game. It's going to be a great event, and just really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Definitely we'll have a bigger jumbotron than the Italian Olympics Milan Stadium, which is one of the things I wanted to point out. I just don't know. We're going to rotate into the Olympic talk here. I don't know how you build a stadium and then forget that people like have to see the scoreboard. And then not only is it the tiniest quote unquote jumbotron possible, it's next to the roof. It's like 3 centimeters away from the roof. So you have to like all these NHL guys are going to be looking up to like see like stats and like see the replays and things. Jenks, is that the most embarrassing scoreboard you've ever seen in your life?
It's
outside of Ross Stravers, where the jumbotron had like missing lights, and you really weren't sure what score it was.
It is. I've been in some pretty bad rinks over my day. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah.
This for the best on best in the world competition at the Olympics. This is insane. Like, this they have to do better.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going into a youth rink. I'm not kidding you. This looks like some throwaway rink up in the boonies around Buffalo somewhere. And it's one of those rinks where you walk into and you're like, I got to wear 17
Yeah.
layers.
Oh, it's gonna
They
be
haven't
freezing. Yeah.
they haven't updated this place since 1960,
Yeah.
and for this being built brand new, I if I was a player, I'd be kind of annoyed with all of this construction crap that's been going
Yeah.
on and the quality and everything. And I guess we'll see. Hopefully, the on ice product is a lot better, and we don't have to think anything about the rink
Yeah.
during the
I
Olympics.
was
But
looking up
yeah,
what construction they have left, and found some quotes from people that the rink isn't done, but we'll be there to play hockey. That's the quote that, the seats aren't ready. The seats will be still being installed as patrons are gonna be there to sit down. That's how late they are with this. Um, I wonder if you like ask the player. I'm sure the players don't care because it's like representing your country and it's still like the Olympic
yeah,
effect. But I
right.
wonder if most of them will be excited about playing in a half what is it, what do they call it, a half bowl or three-quarter
Mm-hmm.
bowl stadium again,
Yeah.
because most of the college stadium, or not college, junior stadiums are like that. So I wonder if it'll bring back some memories for them. They'll be like, oh, Connor McDavid, yeah, back when Jenks and Blano were cheering for me in Erie Otters Stadium. That's kind of brings back good memories and stuff. So it'll be fun to see. I was looking up. The game starts February 11th is when the first game starts.
So yes, but that's for the men. The women start on February 5th. So
Yeah,
the ice and everything needs to be ready to go a week from today.
right. How, are there that many women's teams there? Is it the same amount?
I
Like, does
think
Italy
there's
have a team actually?
yeah, Italy has a women's team. So
Okay.
I've got it pulled up right now. So the women's teams are Sweden, Germany, Italy, France, U.S., Czech, Finland, Canada, Japan, Switzerland. So those are the women's teams.
Japan has a team. That's pretty cool.
Um, so yeah, they start on the 5th. So they're really pushing it, man.
Yeah, yeah, they are. Well, we'll see what happens because it'll be interesting to watch, and I think you can watch it on NBC, and
Yep.
probably
Yep.
the side games are probably on like the ABC network crap.
Probably be able to find them somewhere.
Yeah.
A couple games I want to highlight. Obviously, we just talked about the women start on the 5th, the men starting on the 11th. U.S. Canada. If you're looking for if you're strictly a men's hockey watcher, you should watch some of these women's games because they're better than you. I promise.
Oh yeah, they're
Um,
all better than us. They're all
but
better than us.
there's a good little warm up for everybody that's only paying attention to the men. The U.S. Canada women play on Tuesday, February 10th. That'll be a good one, so tune in for that. And then the preliminary round for the men, there's not really a ton of good matchups. It seems to be like a lot of you look at the team and you're like, oh, that's an easy win.
Yeah.
But the women's gold medal game will be February 19th, and then the men's gold medal game will be February 22nd. So write those down, folks.
Jammed packed February, man. Hockey is like at its peak in February for every league.
Yep.
I swear, IHHF included. But
Yep.
yeah, it's a cool time to be Olympics. I think the Olympics have been probably more in the news this year. I don't know, good or bad. It seems like more bad than good. So maybe I might watch more this year. I think I've seen more Olympic advertisements this year than previous years, so maybe that's a good sign. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Um, Anything else to add on to the Olympics, Jake?
No, I mean, I'm personally really excited. I think a lot of people feel the same because we haven't had Olympic hockey in quite some time.
Yeah.
And it's just such you're never going to see powerhouse teams like this. I
Yeah.
mean, I know they're doing the Four Nations crap now, but this is still more meaningful than the Four Nations tournament. So
You said that just so like nonchalant. You're just like, yeah, it's just another like all star
it,
shit.
it's a yeah, it is what it is.
Right. Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is the Olympics.
If you had to pick one sport in the Winter Olympics other than hockey, and you had to do it, what would it be?
Oh, I had to do it, not
Yeah, yeah.
okay. I thought you were gonna say
Well,
what other
we
sport would I want to
both
watch.
play or have played hockey, so you have
Yeah.
to play or have played this sport. But knowing the winter sports is kind of tough. So if you had to pick a sport to do, what would it be?
I don't know how well I would do in it, but I would want to do like the downhill skiing.
Oh God, that's so
Like
terrifying. That's
do
so
like the
terrifying, man.
if that's how I go out,
You
that's
would
how I go out.
shatter your whole body. Your legs would
And
split in half.
I'm willing to
I would
take the
watch
risk.
you. One half of your body goes this way, and half your body go that way. There's no
And you'd
way.
probably get a good chuckle out of it
I
too.
would. I would. I'd be like, that's classic Jakes.
That's it's my time. It's my time.
Right.
What would you pick?
Bobsled. What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
Easy. I just don't know where you train for it. I feel like there's only like one spot in the whole world to train for, and it's like Colorado.
Do you remember the whole thing with that Jamaican bobsled team or whatever it was?
Yeah. That's a
Going
real
back.
true story. True
Yeah.
story. I
Yeah.
don't know how you do it. That's dedication. That shit's. But I feel like in those smaller countries, it's easier to pick one of those obscure sports like breakdancing and be like, oh, I'm gonna apply to be a breakdancer for the Olympics for my country because only I know about it. Like that's
Mhm.
like give me a citizenship to like Waspania and I'll submit myself for the bobsled team there. That'd be awesome.
Oh shit.
All right. Oops, I accidentally crossed off a thing. I wanted to jump back to the NHL real quick because I feel like we're coming up on kind of a 3/4 mark of the season.
Hmm.
And I want to hear Jenks's hot takes about a few teams.
Okay.
I want one team from the East, one team from the West. Both these teams have to be looking on the outside coming in. And
Okay.
I want to hear Jenks's words of wisdom for these teams.
So I'm I'm basically saying somebody who's not in the playoffs today,
Yeah.
and what I would say to them to get them going to get into the playoffs. Is that what you're
Correct.
saying?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's start in the West because I think that's an easier pick for me.
Okay.
The well, I shouldn't say it's an easier pick for me because there's two teams I'd really want to pick: Los Angeles or Winnipeg. I'm gonna pick Los Angeles out of the West because I would give the pep talk of boys, we need to rally around the fact that this is Kopitar's last year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He said that publicly. He's out after this season. We've got to give everything left in the tank so that he can get another shot at this thing. If we miss the playoffs, it's a big failure for the team. So that's the message for LA.
You
to
wouldn't
get in.
talk to your boy Warren Fogle at all?
Warren Fogel's the Energizer Bunny. I don't need to pep him up at all.
Okay.
I've never seen that guy be slow a day in my life.
Right? Yeah, naturally.
The East, I don't see how it's anybody except Toronto. Okay, they're getting embarrassed by just about everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on. Like they go on these 3 or 4 game stretches where they actually look good, and then they lose 7 in a row. And I can't really explain. I can't pinpoint what it is. And you've got Willie Nylander sitting up in the press box flipping the bird to the cameras, and
Right.
it's basically like the message to them is We are the laughing stock of the NHL right now. Okay.
Yep.
Everybody is pointing at us and laughing because we have so much talent on this team. We have one of the best goal scorers in the game, and we can't even secure a playoff spot. Like it's always been Toronto can't make it past the first round, and they finally broke that. And now we're regressing. Now we're
Yeah.
to the point where it's like we might not even make the playoffs. So it's like, guys, we've got to face the adversity here. We've got to turn it around. We've got to start playing as a team, and we've got to get it together and start
Yeah.
stringing together some wins. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Toronto is an absolute abysmal team. All right. Those are pretty solid picks. In the East, for me, I think it has to be Washington. I think I'm coming in that locker room and being like, boys, we have our freaking fighter and an old guy that drinks Dr. freaking Pepper as our leading point scorers. What? I just saw you eat a vegan meal with no goat cheese. This guy's slurping a case of Dr. Pepper on the bench. What are you doing? You know, I'd look at these young guys. I'd be so upset. You know, Ryan Leonard, great talent for the United States, bad hockey player. Like, let's go, dude. I would tell him straight out. I'd be like, you're fucking bad. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, Dylan Strome, you're not your brother. Let's go. Let's go. You're supposed to be better. Like, get these guys moving. I mean, you have Logan Thompson, who's basically Hellebuck Jr. Like, let's go. While we have these guys in some of their, like, primes, and then we have Ovi on his out, Tom Wilson, maybe he just decided to be good this year. I don't know what's going on. But we got to figure it out. Maybe tell Tom Wilson he better start fighting more. Hey, Tom Wilson, go get suspended. That's what the boys need. So that's my message. Some of these guys, some of these teams, I feel like you need tough love. And I feel like the Caps, you can do that too. Because they're like an older crowd, mixed with like hard-nosed players. So I feel like you can give them that tough love. On the West, it would be very opposite. West, you need to be very, hey guys, I don't need to be hard, but like, please be better. And that team is Chicago for me. If Chicago can string a couple games together, they're right in the wild card conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Utah, I'd walk in, I'd like have a piece of paper, and I would have the standings with the wild card, and I would like shake it to make sure everybody like sees me, and here's the piece of paper, and I would look at it, read it, maybe bring a fake pair of glasses, put on the glasses. Utah. Ain't that the Phoenix Coyotes? Yes, coach, that's the Phoenix Coyotes, and they're above us. What are we doing? We have Connor freaking Bedard on our team. What are we doing? I would do that sort of thing. I'd look at our goaltending and be like, goalies, we can't let in more than 15 goals a game and decide we want to win. Like, Spencer Knight, cool. But can I have a day off, please? Arvid Soderblom, however you say that, Blom, whatever, wherever that man's from, be better. That's what I'd say. Spencer Knight, we don't need you in another rehab. We just need you like to be good. All right.
Yeah.
I'd say all that.
Yeah.
And I'd look at Connor Bedard and be like, hey, buddy, we need more. I know you're giving it all, but we need more. So those are the two that I would say need to step up in my book.
Yeah, both fair points.
And it can be done. A couple wins in a row, and they're right there. So
it's all you need. You just got to string together a few W's. That's all.
It's just these guys just get too coddled. They just need to be slapped sometimes. Be like, get your shit together. Bring Babcock back. Just bring Tortorella back. Just get some of these guys in here. Whip them around a little bit. Another team, you brought him up earlier, the Jets. I wanted to ask you a question. It's kind of the same thing with New York.
Mm-hmm.
If the Jets continually not do well in playoffs or miss playoffs this year, do we talk about the Jets moving on from Hellebuck? Is that a conversation we're ready to have?
It's an interesting question, and I don't know. I think look, the Jets as recently as last year won the President's Trophy, right?
Yeah.
So there is very recent evidence that supports that this is still a good hockey team. They did not go in there and do major surgery to the roster. It's largely the same group, plus or minus a couple guys. With the cornerstone of that team being Connor Hellebuck. So you to be moving on from Connor Hellebuck, you are really thrown in the towel. I think they can afford to have a bad season this year.
Yeah.
And go into the off season and just say, hey guys, look, we're going to write this one off as a fluke. Let's regroup and start planning for next year as if it's 2 years ago when we were a contender.
Yeah.
Okay? We'll find a couple pieces. We'll mix them in here and there, but the core is still here. Last year, write it off. Doesn't matter. I think if you go into next season and you repeat what you did this season, then you start saying, maybe the core is aged out too much. Maybe it's time we start moving on.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what I think Winnipeg's probably thinking right
now. Damn. In the mind of a GM right now? Is that
just, I made some calls before this, and that's what I'm being told.
Okay. Your sources?
Sources to remain anonymous, but that's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Cool. I want to give your GM mind another question here.
Yeah.
And it involves kind of the opposite with a team that I think everybody writes off every year, and it's for a good reason because they're bad. The Buffalo Sabres just seem to figure out how to go on win streaks. Not only did they go on an 11-game win streak, they are currently on a 4-game win streak right now. So, Jenks, how do you stop this team? What's going on in Buffalo?
Take you back to the beginning of the season. Okay, the first, 8 or 10 games. Buffalo was doing what Buffalo does, and they started out slow, and they were one of the last place teams in the NHL, and everybody goes, especially the Buffalo fans, everybody goes, here we go again. I don't know what changed in that locker room because they didn't make any big trades.
No. Pagula was
I don't know what changed that.
I'll literally sell you all.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, I will sell you your bodies to,
yeah.
Like,
he did. He probably did. He probably went in there. It was like, I literally own Penn State. Get out.
I don't know what changed there, but they are 7th place in the NHL right now.
Right.
They have gone on win streak after win streak and climbed out of the basement, and they're 7th place in the NHL right now. Almost going into the Olympic break here. So if you're Buffalo, for the first time in, 20 years, you're looking at this saying, we got to go for it. We're in a playoff spot. We have to keep going forward. We are going for it. I don't know what else the conversation is in the locker. Like if you're the GM of that team, and I can't remember who the GM is now because I know they fired their GM earlier this year.
Probably Pagula.
It's probably Pagula. He's probably just running somebody else like a puppet.
Yeah.
If you're that GM, you're looking at this saying, I don't know what's going on. I inherited something that's going very well, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that we keep moving this thing forward.
Yeah.
And if I got to go out and add a piece to make that happen, that's what I'm going to do. It's time for Buffalo to get back into the playoffs. It is time.
Yeah, I mean, they have a sick goalie tandem. I know we talked about this. This is the way to win Stanley Cups, this goalie tandem. Like Jukka, Pekka, Luukalainen on his team, and then Alex Leon, that trio that was down there in Florida. That was so insane that they finally split apart. But yeah, Buffalo just seems to be like kind of on the upswing. And I know, recent things in the news around Buffalo, them losing playoffs in the NFL, no good. And, Darlene going through his own family struggles, which I know both Jenks and I are T's and P's for him. Thoughts and prayers. Hopefully his wife is doing well, and so is him. I know they had a lot of complications over there. So hopefully everything's as good as possible for the Darlene family, and hopefully a speedy recovery for his wife and for himself. And yeah, hopefully this Buffalo team keeps moving forward in a good direction. They seem to have figured it out. I mean, Owen Power not doing well, but I think if Tage Thompson keeps putting goals in the back of the net, they'll be just fine.
Yep, agreed.
All right. Anything else that you wanted to sneak in here, Jenks?
No, nothing. We covered a lot of ground today. I think that the moral of the story is there's so much going on in hockey right now. So you just I don't know what else to add.
All right. Our favorite section of the podcast, the writing on the wall section, college edition. Jenks, this is all you. We only have one pick for the weekend, one game. PSU versus MSU at Beaver Stadium, outdoor, open to the elements, white hat. Jenks, what's your pick?
It would be a mortal sin for me to walk into that stadium knowing that I picked any other way except for the Nittany Lions. This atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. An outdoor game in State College, 100,000 people. I don't know. This is going to be great for everybody in attendance. It's going to be great for the program, for the school, for all the fans. It's just going to be an unbelievable event.
And to think they were ACHA a mere 10 years ago.
Right. How far we've come. So I think it's going to be a really good game. They split games earlier in the season when they played. So I have no doubt that it's going to be a close game. But I can't pick against the Nittany Lions. Like, give me Penn State in the outdoor game at Beaver Stadium.
Wow, that's a solid pick. And as always, guys, my name is Blaine Adams. I'm right here as always with your co-host, Nick Jenks Jenkins. And we're out of here. Hopefully not frozen by the end of the week. Later.